Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. Guess what I have? I have the fourth book in the series from the illustrious Jennifer Clouston. As you know, and you probably already have in your collection, Foolproof Flowers, Foolproof Crazy Quilting, and Foolproof Crazy Quilts projects. So drum roll, here's the parcel. Oh, we've been waiting and waiting and waiting. It's just taken forever to get here. And I heard Pepper and Bandit sort of woof a little bit. And I'm going, oh, I wonder if that's the mum. And oh, here we go. Oh, Jennifer, congratulations. It's so exciting. Oh, now I've got stuck bits of plastic bubble wrap everywhere. Oh, wow. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I love how they're all different colours. That's going to make it so easy to put your hands on them in the bookcase. Oh. Now, Jennifer's been showing us the pieces of work that she sent to the publisher to be photographed for the book. So it's been really interesting to see, I guess, the process you need to go through to be published as an embroiderer. Now, I was sent the electronic version of it because you can buy the book for your iPads and not actually get a hard copy from, I think, Amazon. Well, there's a few of them out there. So when you do Google the purchase of the book, just be careful it's not an electronic version versus a hard copy. So just be careful of that. I haven't looked through the electronic. I think I went 2 pages in. I'm like, no, stop. I just want to absorb it. Feels like Christmas morning, doesn't it? Oh, look at these. It's just so long and elegant. Now, from watching the little snippets that Jennifer has been giving us, this book's all about building on top of what we've learnt, especially from this book. These ones are very project driven, those ones. This one I first discovered from watching Rachel from Roxy Creations. And then I was lucky enough to actually do 2 days with Jennifer where she teaches on the Sunshine Coast. So I guess I feel like I've explored all the different stitches through numerous projects. It keeps popping up all the time in my slow stitch. This is going to be about adding little morsels together from what we've learnt to create just something freeform. Oh, great. Just great. And I love how Jennifer already makes me stop and change threads and have confidence that I can put my wools with my ribbons and then throw some beads in. And I think this, from what I've sort of noticed from her videos so far, is going to really push our boundaries. Like, look at the turkey work. There's even a glittery thread. Oh, my goodness, look at that. So this is what happens. You get these books off the shelf and then you don't get past the first cover because there's enough here to stitch. Beautiful. Look at those beads. Oh, she's a clever girl. Okay, let's do it. Let's be in. Is that a thread? Surely there's a thread included in the book. That'd be a bit special. I think it's in the production of the book. Look at that. That silhouette photo. Monogram, not monogram, monochromatic. No, I don't know. Forget about it. Look at this. Just little bits. So you could just focus just on that and away you go. Oh, I hope you guys can see properly. Look, let me just zoom up a little bit more. I should be zooming in. Oh. Look at the curled edge on that flower. Little diamante little sequins. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, so much information. That's great. It's really good when authors talk to us because then we really feel what their inspiration is and their thought. I really like that. I really enjoyed Fleur Wood's book because she spoke to us as well. As she meandered us through her processes, she was talking to us. And I, having met her as well, I can hear her. And I'm guessing I'm going to have that with Jennifer's book as well. I will be able to hear Jennifer chatting in my ear about the logic behind her choices. Look at that. Look at that. Just setting yourself up with a colour palette in a bowl, and then off you go. It's so important for all you newbies out there. Try and do that. Try and curate some colours together that sort of allow you to forget about that part and then just stitch. It's a really good idea. Oh, look at that. Well, I remember seeing that pop up on Instagram as a photo. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, the hours of work. And Jennifer's a real one for just having a little 15 minutes of stitching. Before you go and sit down at your big project, whether it be crocheting or whatever it may be, just have 15 minutes of just stitching. Just get your fingers working. Yeah. Oh, there's one of those vintage cases that I was seeing pop up at vintage stores down in Ballarat with Susanna. Sometimes my daily stitching grows into something. Oh my goodness, yes. Little morsels of doilies, and then just do this little simple stitching over the top. Becomes a block, and the block can become something. All the necessity. This is great for the beginners because, you know, you imagine these young people joining our slow stitch community and they haven't had a senior generation showing them the tricks and tips to it all, because it's nearly a lost art, all of this business. Things like that, just that image is a good start for them to start thinking about what they need to kickstart the adventure that's in front of them. Gosh, imagine finding stitching for the first time. It all happens to us at some point, whether we're 15 or 35 or 65. I hear it in the comments, people who are discovering needle and thread and hand sewing. And slow stitch is such a gentle way to bring us together. It's, oh, look at that bag. Oh, Jennifer, you go from brights that just sensory overload to these subtle tones. Yeah, something for everybody. Look at all these. That's a real Jennifer palette. I've noticed that her greens can be quite a yellow green, which is beautiful. Just beautiful. Colour Stream, a great Australian company, made on an island, Macleay Island, well, not made, died on a island just off the coast of Brisbane. Just a short ferry ride. Another great, great company. So they do the ribbons and the pearl cottons. Beautiful. I'll link their website below. So Aussie ladies, you can order directly from Colour Stream. Everyone else overseas, their threads are popping up everywhere. So just type them into Google and you should be able to track them down. They're just beautiful to work with. Oh, see, look, there's an old doily in there that is just classic our childhood, well, my childhood, kid of the 80s learning to do fancy work. And look, here comes Jennifer. Look at that. Keep your eye open for unfinished pieces and then Jennifer-ize it. She'll be rolling her eyes now. I know you're rolling your eyes, Jennifer. You'll be thinking, oh, that girl, I tell you. Look at that. See, building on crazy patchwork. It's such an old technique, but now, like, just bomb it with beautiful stitches. Look at that. How clever. Clever, clever. Create. Oh, Jennifer. Gee, my mind's just buzzing. Create a piece. Oh, I know that fabric. I think I've got that in blue. Oh, I love it when it's an Aussie girl, because then there's half a chance you might see something you're like, oh, I know where that is in my stash. See, create terrain, landscape, and then go for it. Oh, I even sat down with my little journal. I'm like, I know what's going to happen. As soon as I finish flipping through this, I'm going to be going straight to my Jennifer book and need to do something. Clever. Oh, denim. This is in one of these. I think it's there, that one. Here it is in denims. And oh, look at that. There's nothing better than a strong background like the blues and the browns, and then pop it with colour. Look at all those layers. Oh, my goodness. Okay, good. Oh, that's different. That's different for Jennifer. Applique and then Jenniferize it. Oh, my goodness. She has wrapped. Gosh, I feel like just picking up needle and thread, and I'm only at page 33, for goodness sakes. Oh, you guys are going to love this book. Oh, look at that. So simple. They're the beginners out there. This is so good for them. Look at the layers that you can put on simple vines. That was one thing I picked up from doing a class with Jennifer, is I thought we were there, we'd done this piece and that, and then she makes me pick up cotton, just sewing machine cotton, and those little stitches that you can achieve when something's so chunky, and you've been using ribbon and crewel, embroidery, flosses and wool. Where have I used it? Yeah, cotton, like just sewing machine cotton. And it just brings this softness about it. That was one thing I was like, wow. And those roses she makes. You'll have to get that book to get the lesson on the roses. Mind you, I had forgotten the first step of the rose by the time I'd got to the highway to drive home, which was a colonial knot, and then weaving through the ribbon to anchor this little, it's not a grub rose. I think oh, now I'm sidetracked, for goodness sakes. You'll be all sitting there going, come on, Corrine, flip through the book. No, we've got to go back, get the right terminology, because that's one thing I do not do well, is remembering the names of all these things. I bet I don't find it. Now Jennifer will be like, come on, girl, I want to see what the book looks like. We've been chatting, waiting for the postmans, basically. So I hope you get yours today, Jennifer. Oh, I can't find it. God, look at all those flowers. Gosh, gosh, gosh. Oh, if you don't have this and you're ordering this, bloomin' get that one too, guys. Okay, back to it. It's a little rose made out of ribbons. Yeah, this is building up, starting with, oh, look at all the beads. Building up your bases. And then when you start adding all your bits in, here comes the pressure points. Oh, it's the new word, the pressure points. And look what she's done for us. Cast on stitch to create the leaf. Then some twisted chain stitches. Then a couple little lazy daisies to anchor it. And then a little bead. Now that little morsel then gets nestled onto your base that you've been building up. Genius, girl. This is great. This is going to make us think freer than going like the doily. It's blanket stitch all the way. It's stem stitch all the way. Filling it in. Oh, this is good. Oh, look at that. Like starting to build it up. Different things you can do with straight stitch, and then little bits you can put. Oh, look at that. Oh, so pretty. Lazy daisy stitch. And then a little bit of ribbon, and then a bead. Can you see that? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that, look at that. Oh, this would have been fun to stitch for the book. Softening it. Am I missing something here? Pressure points, soften. Can't be missing anything. Movement. Okay, so now the wind's blowing through our foliage, and that's what helps make it look natural, is getting that movement, twisting, and yeah. And the finishing touches, fern stitch, little colonial knots. This is building a story. I love how she gets those angles. Mine are just like a bit, I don't know, what did she say in that class? Getting space, allowing your stitch to have its space. Sometimes my angles aren't quite right and I'm sort of squishing on top of each other. But look at that. Variegated cottons too. They are just glorious to play with. There's an example of a variegated cotton where it's going from the blues into the greens, and then she's come back to start doing the little side straight stitches with a little elbow on them, and we're changing back in through the blues. Don't be afraid of variegated cottons. Look, here I am sounding so wise. I was, because I couldn't control it. And then one day I just went for it and I was like, wow, it's got a bit of a mind of its own. Front cover. There's a variegated cotton there at the top. A little bit of orange coming through to the pink. There's a little bit of freedom in that. Gee, that's a pretty piece. Look at that. Little beads. Oh my goodness, guys. Check that out. Tiny little beads in amongst it. Nuggets of goodness. That is so you, Jennifer. Nuggets of goodness. Oh, I love it. Love it when you hear the author. That's what I was saying before. When you hear the speech. If you're watching Jennifer on YouTube where she does her little 15 minutes of stitchery, she's got a unique, passionate way of describing the emotion she's feeling when she's stitching. And that's what we want. That's what this is all about. Oh, that's just... Oh, I love how you've done that. Step one. Yeah, so sometimes you look at these images and you're like, oh my goodness, where do I start? Look, step one, step two, and holy macaroni. Step three. Look, can't be any simpler. Foolproof. Gee, too right. Oh, you guys are going to love this. There's those roses. Here we go. Here we go. B. What does she call them? Oh, she hasn't given them an actual name. Just sweet delights. Oh, goodness me. I love her wording. She has some funny words. She's a character of this girl. It's great. Oh, so pretty. Gonna have to find the name of those roses. You probably all, and I know Jennifer's yelling it at the screen right now. Just give me a moment, Jennifer. I'll find out. There they are again. Have we got? No. Feather stitch, pressure points. See, yeah, she's teaching us phrases now. We've learned about pressure points, finishing touch, a softening. So we're not talking about stitches here. We're building up the foundation and leading into this explosion of movement, colour, texture. Very clever. You'll hear us all now on YouTube be saying, now we're adding a pressure point. It's like creating a whole new language. Oh, look, lineal lines, building it up. Simple blanket stitch. Oh, not a fan of blanket stitch anymore. I think I've done that to bloomin' distraction. But look, using your blanket stitch again, building it up. Great for when you're doing your crazy patchwork. Oh, movement. Making things bend. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Just, wow. Cover the top. That's where you start your journey. Beautiful. Oh, cast on stitch. That was a stitch that Jennifer showed me in the class, and oh, it was like angels sung in my head. I couldn't believe how simple and gorgeous this stitch was. That's, you know, when you're loading the needle, you get the book and have a little look, Google it. You're loading the needle, and it's like when you're knitting and you're casting on your stitch, wrapping it around the needle, and then you pull the needle through and it creates this gorgeous little element that can be quite intensely loaded, and it's kinking around, or just simple and it lays beautifully flat. You can do a lot with it. You can create tendrils, and it's so simple to do, and you look really professional, guys. Look, cast on stitch, like, yeah, it's a cracker. Have I got cast on stitch in here? Yeah, look, there it is. See? Makes me feel like I know what I'm doing. Oh, goodness. I did that with Jennifer. I'd finished the piece and I quickly grabbed another piece of green linen, and she started working me these flowers, and we did the stem, and then I finished off when I got home. That's, yeah, great fun. Oh my goodness, it just keeps going and going. Look at that. How autumn is that? Oh, and here we go. Basic stitches. Is that fancy little rose in here. I'm sure, you know, you guys are probably going, I've been doing that rose for 100 years, but I hadn't. Cast on stitch was another one. It was like, where have you been in my life? Chevron stitch. Cretan stitch. I don't do a lot of that. It never seems to line up right. I need to re-watch some videos on that, because I think my placement of my needle is a little bit out, therefore it's crooked. That's what I'd say it is. Feather stitch, I do a lot of that. Oh, I like her twisted, her twig, feather twig stitch. This is classic Jennifer. She works backwards. I don't do that enough. I've got to do that some more. It just gives you that little joint, so it really does start to look like a plant. It's a nice little detail. That's classic Jennifer, that one. Fern stitch, herringbone stitch. Yeah, see, I'm not a fan of that guy too. It's a little bit, it'll be exactly, I'm not, so I didn't listen to Jennifer on every tip. She would have said, line your needle up to where you came out of the fabric, and that will keep your stitch. I do recall a conversation about that. Oh, that's nice too. Knotted feather stitch. See, I haven't done that one. Gosh, we've only just touched the tip of the iceberg. Here it is. Ruched rose. I knew it was something fancy. That's it there. That's it. And that knot, is it a colonial knot? Yeah. Form a colonial knot. Didn't do that. They held when I did do them. I think I did a project a couple of weeks after the class, and I was rosing everything. And then one of yous commented, Corrine, you're not doing a colonial knot, it'll probably fall out. And I'm thinking, there's no colonial knot. And I had to go and research it, come back. I'm like, yeah, there's a colonial knot, but it did hold. So you get your colonial knot started, and then you meander through your ribbon and then straight back into the fabric, draw it all down, bingo. Beautiful little rose. They're so quick compared to doing grub roses and all of those little guys, which is sort of my childhood. Got a bit over doing grub roses and them not sitting right. Nah. Oh, no, we're getting to the end of the book. The gallery. Okay. Oh, look at it. There's nothing better when you pick a colour palette and then you stick with it and just let it wash across the fabric. Oh, what's that? Whipping stitch. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. Whipping stitch. So you've got a running stitch down, and then you come back with another thread or the same thread, and you whip around it to give thickness and bulk. Really good for stems. Upside down blanket stitch. Yep. Okay. Twisted chain. That's another classic Jennifer. Oh my goodness. The hours of work, girl. Look at that. Using the hexagons to build up a little caddy. Blanket, old blankets, old clothing, crocheted little edge, just beautiful. That feels very coralish, like under the sea. It's not, but that's the feeling I get there. There she is. There's the girl. Oh, look at that. That's the book. That encompasses what she's doing. Gosh, I hope there's not glare. Oh, goodness me. Congratulations, Jennifer. Wacky-doo. And how many pages have we got? Oh, like 95 pages of yumminess. Oh, boy. Love the front cover. How do you pick a piece? Like, that's perfect. Like, when you see all the examples she stitched for the photography of the book. Oh, you guys have got to go back to her channel. There's a few on her Instagram page too, where she's starting to do just little snippets of information of how this all came together, which is so interesting. And it's great when authors give us a sneak peek into their world. Oh, that's just opened a can of worms in my head. Oh, beautiful. Okay, there you go. Do yourself a favour, race out and get yourself this book. If you're going to buy these two. If you're looking for projects, this one's a cracker. If you want to create a quilt where you explore all your learnings, this one is a great one too. So there they are. Congratulations, young Jennifer. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, my goodness. It's so good. So good. Can't wait to get stitching, so stay tuned. The girl needs to go and get needle and thread. She's sent me off on a tangent. All right, guys, look after yourselves. Congratulations, Jennifer. Fantastic. Bye.